All right. Welcome to the 7th episode of the Pink Hoodie Podcast. I have here Josh Mccune. I fucked it up even though you told me about it.
It's
20
okay.
seconds ago.
It's okay. People have been getting it wrong for ages, and they're going to keep getting it wrong, so it's okay.
Sorry about that.
It's all good, man.
So you're part of the Lancaster Improv Players.
Yeah, man. I'm one of the co-founders of it, along with Austin Riddle, Henry Wagner, and Bill DeWan. We started it about 4 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah, we're getting ready to open in August, and we're super excited.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Hashtag Freegato.
Freegato, yeah.
Was one of
Former members, yeah.
Former members.
Yeah. It's it's going really well. We got the opening weekends August 10th. We've been building up the theater the last couple of weeks. We just put in the furniture in there this last weekend, and it's starting to look good. I'm excited. Yeah, I can't wait.
Nice.
Yeah.
I did some improv at Slippery Rock. That was an interesting time.
What was your group's name?
Rock'em Sock'em Improv.
That's fantastic on so many levels.
Really...
That's one of my favorite team names that I've heard, actually.
Really?
Yeah. Well, because Millersville was Improv Molotov. The one that they have at Drexel is my all-time favorite name, though. They're the Drexel football team. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I love that team name, but Rock'em Sock'em's Improv. Okay.
Yeah.
What was the style of stuff that you guys did there?
We just did like a lot of games and like we tried like long form improv, but that always went horribly.
Did anyone actually know how to do it, or was it just like
No.
we'll figure it out as we go?
Almost everyone was like the first time doing improv.
Oh man. Okay, then yeah, I could see how that would happen.
And there was like two people who like been doing it for a while, and they're like, Jesus, like none of us. I was like, sorry, I don't know how to talk for like 8 minutes.
That's it's more than just that, but yeah. I mean, like I see what you mean. Like if you don't have anybody who like really solidly knows how to do it, it can be tough. I teach it to kids out in Bucks County too. I got 2 classes right now where it's like 6th through 9th graders, and then I have an adult level class that's right after. And it's supposed to be all long form, and some of the kids are like really struggling. Some of them are really, really good at it, but there's some kids who are just like the whole time, like just completely blank on it. So
did you have improv in your high school?
No, we didn't. I didn't get involved in theater until my senior year when we had the talent show that year. And I was like, okay, the movie The Hangover had just come out, and I knew how to play piano, so I played the Tiger song. But I was told I had to censor myself for it. At the end where it's like, but if we're murdered by crystal meth tweakers, I was supposed to change that to if we're murdered by crazy math teachers. They didn't have a problem.
That's pretty funny too.
They didn't have a problem with me saying, well, then we're shit out of luck. They had the problem with the idea of crystal meth at my high school in suburbia. That's what they were worried about. But I did that, and then my high school English teacher set pretty much like all the girls who were cast in the musical to like try to recruit me to be in it. And after like a month, I like gave in and I decided, yeah, I'll do it, and I loved it. And after that, I was like, okay, I want to try some theater stuff.
Sweet. Got
here to Millersville, saw they had an improv troupe, and I'm like, yup, I want to do that.
Nice.
And that's how I got started. So
Sweet.
It's fun, yeah.
I thought about doing the theater in the senior year of high school too, but then there was a kid named Derek who was like so good at like theater. He just like moved here, and I was like, fuck, I'm not gonna be able to beat Derek.
What was the musical, or what was the show?
I think it was like some Sherlock Holmes related.
I would love to see a Sherlock Holmes musical.
And there was only like 3 characters in the whole
Oh, seriously?
thing.
Oh man, that's weird.
And I was like, there's no way I'm gonna get this on my first try.
Yeah, well, you got it now, right?
Yeah.
Are you trying to do any of the theater stuff here?
I would like to eventually. Probably once school starts. I feel like I'm gonna have more time actually.
Yeah. What are you majoring in here?
Broadcasting.
Broadcasting. Okay. Yeah. Then you're gonna have plenty of time. You'll absolutely have plenty of time. If you're gonna be like a science major or something, I'd be like, good luck. But nah, definitely get involved as soon as you can.
Yeah. Hey Nick.
Hey.
Hey. Do you want to come say hi?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Hey, I saw you do stand up before.
Oh, hey, how's it going? I like your Paddington shirt. I'm Josh.
We
Nice
have
to meet you.
Nicholas Levin. You want to say hi?
Hi, everyone.
Hey, Nick.
Continue, please.
I hope it was good stand up you saw.
It was funny.
What do you remember what I was doing there at all, or?
I remember there was a bit about you being adopted.
Oh yeah, that's my big thing, because it's like, oh great, like bought and paid for. There's plenty of material there.
Yeah.
You got to be careful about it though. I did the Philly's Funniest competition a couple weeks ago at Helium, and you really got to know your audience, because I have a joke where it's like, so people get confused at times when I'm talking about my parents, because they'll be like, wait. Are you talking about your real dad or your fake dad right now? And I'm like, fake dad? You can't say that. That's a faux pas. And I'm like, that's like the smartest joke I have. It takes a sec. And the audience reacted the same way you guys did. Yeah. Where it's like, what? And then I was like, okay, well, I just lost. So it's all good. But yeah, it's fun. Like the adoption jokes are the bread and butter. That's the stuff, because it's like nobody else has that kind of stuff. Yeah. Except for, there's one of my other friends who does stand up in Philly, John Deary, who has been doing a little bit longer. And I went on before him one time at an open mic. I had no idea who he was, and he comes up after. He's like, so I'm also adopted. And I'm like, brother. But yeah, that's the fun stuff. I love doing the stand-up too. Yeah. It's different mix. So
I love stand-up so much.
Stand-up, so your stand-up stuff is good too, and your voice, like when you have like a good speaker system too with like the mics too, like it makes everybody pay attention, because it's like, why is my drink shaking right now? That's pretty much like everybody has to like sit down and pay attention to that.
I always put like the microphone like right at like my mouth, and everyone's like, why are you like almost licking the microphone?
I mean, hey, like everybody's got their style for setting it up too. Like I saw one guy one time when I was doing a mic in Philly who came up with like a Clorox wipe and wiped down the mic right before he was about to go on, and he was on second. So I'm like, what does that say about his opinion of the guy who was on right before him? It's like, ugh. But I'm like, I don't blame him at all whatsoever. Like I really want to start carrying him around, but yeah. I'm not surprised. I'm not like worried about germs at all. No,
like at all, because I heard this like one George Carlin bit. He's like, I used to like swim in like the sewers filled with like shit, and now I never get sick because my immune system is like on fleek.
Are you serious? If that's the way to get it done, then my kids are skipping the public pool. If when I do have them, they'll wind up in the sewer. But I was actually just in the hospital last month because of something that you get from swimming in like overly chlorinated water. So there's something that's like deemed as like too clean. Because this like parasite apparently is like the only thing that can survive in that like super chlorinated water. And I was in the hospital for 4 days because of this thing too. Yeah, it was wild.
Damn.
Lost 11 pounds because of it, so that was fun.
Jesus.
Yeah. So it was something, all right.
Yeah. I hate the doctor. They're always poking you with shit.
Oh my gosh. Well, because it was a digestive thing, I was probed properly for the first time ever, and it was that was
asshole.
Yes, right up in there. It was not a great way. It was the night of the Game of Thrones finale too. And
did they have it on in the background like on mute?
I was like, can you like just put this on so I can have like some kind of like distraction whatsoever? There was a TV in the room. It's like, oh, we don't get HBO, and I'm like, my copay is $1,000. You guys can afford HBO for this emergency room. Come on, please.
You're like, here's my HBO password.
Just sign me in before you slide it in. It was not good. And I yelped, and my girlfriend was in the room too, and she's like, "Oh, it's not that bad." And I'm like, "You wouldn't know."
Yeah. But I had to get an enema one time, like from my mother. James, Nick's
what?
Face.
You're fucking.
An enema from your? How old were you?
Like, she helped me with it.
Why?
Because she's like, his mother. She'll help. She's always there for him.
That's love for a child. What?
Why don't you go to a doctor?
Well, they gave me the stuff
little bottle,
that you put in.
Yeah,
it's like a ketchup bottle, but it's like clear liquid. So I was like laying on the bathroom floor. I'm naked, and then my mom just like squeezed the ketchup thing like into my asshole. And then like it like doesn't stay in, and it like comes back out.
Well, yeah,
That's the point.
you got to angle. You got to angle up a little bit to let it like soak, or so I'm told. And then you let it all out.
I feel like I should have been like laying like on my stomach, but I was like in the fetal position while my mom was just like squirting away.
I don't think there's like a good position to be in when something's getting squirted in you. I don't think like the pose that you're in is gonna like make it any better whatsoever. Like fetal position is just a natural one, but there's no like
downward facing dog.
Downward. Oh my gosh. Just holding a plank the whole time.
Yeah.
Get a good workout in while you're at it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brutal.
Speaking about when we talked about the doctor's poking you with things.
Yeah.
I thought I had a latex allergy because at work I'd have wear like latex gloves, but they were like had powder on it.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, "Oh, you have a latex allergy," and then
Was that his method of the talk to try to like get you to stop? Was that like his plan?
I don't know. The talk was not very informative. It was like, so when you get married, you put a penis in a vagina, and that's. He told me that sex was the probably the most exciting thing you'll ever do with your life. And
Wow.
that's when I realized my dad's life is pretty
Oh man.
That's true though.
That's gosh. I don't think I don't remember a moment like ever getting the talk.
Yeah.
I remember I was in 7th grade and we had like health and phys ed class and we were just getting health and my parents were like, "Oh, what'd you learn in school today?" I was like, "Well, we started our health class."
Mm-hmm.
I remember my dad just like looking at my mom going like, "Okay, we're off the hook." Pretty much. Just like that was the look that they got, but
I can't wait to give my future son the talk. It's gonna blow his mind.
What are your key selling points that you're gonna have there?
I'm gonna be like, it's the most important thing you'll ever do.
And the cycle continues. You can never break free. Oh my god.
Just like build it up so much in his mind, and then he's gonna be ultimately disappointed.
Just so let down. This is the most important thing you're going to do. I can't believe that's a level of confidence that your dad had for your life right there too. It's like, this is the most important thing.
Yeah. I wonder if that's what he said to my brother. He's like very like, he's more successful than I am.
What does your brother do?
He's in finance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
He was like, this is probably the 5th most exciting thing you'll ever do. It's like, but for Tyler, it's definitely going to be number 1.
Just remember, diversify your portfolio.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's funny.
I don't want to like shit on my brother. I love you, Josh. She's never going to watch this. But like, he's almost 25 and he's never kissed anybody. And I'm kind of worried about him.
Well, one of my buddies, his brothers, was like that too. He was saving his kiss for his wedding day.
Oh no.
Yeah, I mean,
Why
he got
would he
married.
do
He got
that?
married, so I mean, like, he eventually got it. But like,
Okay.
that'd be so much pressure. I would think.
Yeah.
Like,
I watched an episode of The Virgin Diaries, and like they saved their first kiss for their marriage, and it was the most uncomfortable like 7 seconds of my life watching them.
did they just like walk in like
They're
lips
like,
up gay?
You're just like me doing stand up, just like really close to the mic.
Really
just
close
like,
to it, but not actually like touching it.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's funny.
I have a question if you'd like to.
Oh, I love
Here we
questions.
go. This is probably the best question that's been on this podcast.
Bring it on.
Have you ever been pulled over for speeding while wearing a Speedo with Speedy Gonzalez while watching Speed Racer while popping a bean and then you're speeding, all because you had the need for speed?
All of those things, all of those separately, but never together.
Have
That
you ever
is
popped a bean?
what is popping a bean?
It's taking ecstasy.
Oh no, I've never.
Okay.
Or no, but
Or
I've,
Xanax? Oh.
I didn't realize that ecstasy and Xanax were so interchangeable.
They're not. It's just like slang.
Yeah.
That's the
They're not,
slang?
like, different areas have different slang.
Oh, a bean is Xanax in some places?
Mm-hmm.
My therapist tried to get me on Xanax. He's like, hey, you ever want to get on Xanax? As an emergency medication, you can do that.
So I am actually, I'm woefully ignorant when it comes to like medicines and drugs and like all that stuff that they do. So Xanax like is supposed to chill you out, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's like really chill you out.
What's the difference between chill you out and like really chill you out?
Like, you probably couldn't answer the phone on Xanax.
You
What?
forget that you take a
Yeah, you
Xanax
forget
and
You've
take
you've
another
forgotten that
Xanax.
you take another one. Wow.
Yeah, I had
Yeah.
a kid in my house one time off 7 Xans.
Oh my God.
Damn.
7.
What'd you do with the body?
What?
That's oh man.
It was bad. I was worried. But like he was like, I'm gonna take another one. We were like, nah. He's like, bro, I didn't take any today. I was like, what are you talking about? You're like, you stumbled into my apartment and almost spilled a whole entire bottle of wine on my hard drive. Like,
Jesus, that's awful.
Yo, he popped a bean and then he was not speeding.
He was not speeding, not at all. Oh man.
He was slowing. He was on the brakes. That wasn't funny.
Shoot your shots. The wildest thing that I've had was the morphine at the hospital for sure.
Okay.
And I kept like this was actually like, just like last month. Yeah, because like the parasite thing in my gut was like absolutely killing me, and I was just like, can I have some morphine, please? And they're like, we need to run some checks, which is basically like going into my background history and seeing if I'm just like a drug addict trying to scam for these things with like this abdominal pain while I'm shitting out blood, which is the most metal thing I've ever done. But they finally give me the morphine, and they're like, okay, we're gonna give you some melatonin too, so you can sleep. And it, like the combination of those two, not being able to sleep though because of the pain, staying up was like the most. That was the trippiest moment of my life. Having melatonin, not being able to sleep, combined with morphine on top of it, and that was. I don't recommend it, but if you're in the hospital, that's what you should ask for.
I've tried Oxycontin, and that wasn't very fun.
I had that from kidney stones ages ago, and that'll mess you up.
Yeah.
That's.
I was watching SNL while I was on it, and I told my friend Brendan, I was like, if I don't laugh for like a while, it's probably mean I can't breathe.
That's a good like, not safety word, but like, checkpoint to make sure that you're good. That's scary. My God. Yeah, Oxycontin and Vicodin, they put me on those for kidney stones when I was like 17 because apparently I have like the intestines of a 75-year-old man.
Oh.
But yeah, it was those were. I had to give a presentation in my history class in high school while I had those for the stones, and I was like dressed up like a judge because we were supposed to be the Supreme Court. I was just like waving this gavel around, going like absolutely crazy. We somehow got an A, but one of the guys who was presented with me is one of my roommates now, and he's just like, yeah, we were legitimately scared for you when we were giving that presentation. So it's scary stuff.
I bought the Oxycontin from a RA at Slippery Rock.
Oh my gosh.
I won't say it was.
No, I mean, ruined this man's career.
It was actually a lady.
Oh, was it? RAs, like, when you first see them, you think they have so much power, and then you realize, like, just what kind of people they are. One of the RAs that I had when I was here at Millersville in Bard, he was having a... Yeah, I lived in Bard.
I lived in Bard for a summer.
Where in Bard did you live? Were you...
Second floor.
That was... I was third floor. I was, like, tucked in the corner. And when I was there, they... he was trying to call a hall meeting one time, and there was this one door that like someone wasn't answering, so he just knocks on the door and opens it up, and he slams it super quick, and he's like, "Hey, all I saw was flesh," and like we're like, okay, what happened? Like 2 minutes later, a girl walks out, and then the two roommates come out immediately afterwards, and so pretty much the consensus was for the rest of that year that they had tag teamed this poor girl during a hall meeting. And so yeah, whenever I saw that girl on campus, I just kept thinking, "Oh, I see his flesh." So. But yeah, that was the RA experience. That was the RA experience there.
I was like really good friends with like two of my RAs. Like
one
of them just like let us like drink in the dorms basically the whole year. Like he wanted to act like tough, but like he never like cracked down on any of us, which is good.
We had one who there was a guy who was like legitimately afraid of my roommate. Too. That was my sophomore year over in Gilbert, actually. It was Gilbert. You're on a good path, man. You're doing first floor. I was third floor again. I was always on the third floor.
Would you like any nicotine gum?
Can you blow bubbles with it?
We'll try on air.
Is that really nicotine gum?
Yeah.
Does it get you buzzed?
Not really.
What the fuck's the point? You're just chewing gum at this point.
No, it takes away the urge to smoke, according to Nicorette.
Has Nicorette lied? Does it work? We see what it says on the back. Spearmint burst. Do you taste the spearmint in here?
Yeah, but like then once you chew it for like more than a minute, it tastes like assholes because like it tastes like nicotine, but in like mouth form.
Isn't that where you normally take your nicotine?
Yeah.
Try blowing a bubble. I want to see if this works.
All right.
Get everyone buzzed.
The bubble pops. Everybody just immediately has I need to take a 15-minute break.
My head's spinning, bro.
So he's trying.
I can't do it.
You can't do it?
It's not
bubblicious.
Yeah.
Maybe if you pop all these at once.
Nah, that'll get me rolling off a bean.
Roll a bean. Oh, that's funny.
Like if you can't find ecstasy or Xanax, you just take like 5 nicotine gum pieces.
Are you serious?
No.
I was just like, wait, what? Again, I don't know anything about drugs.
Yeah.
There was one of my buddies. He doesn't smoke, but what he'll do is he'll take trash cigarettes, ones that are like half smoked, and he'll like get those and try to trade his way up for a full cigarette.
Really?
Yeah, I'm dead serious.
Damn.
Like he'll find like half of a cigarette in an ashtray. He'll take a couple puffs and be like, oh hey, you want? I'll give you 2 halves for 1 whole to random strangers. And I saw it work one time when we were out in Pittsburgh.
Damn.
It is.
You should be on Pawn Stars.
It would do great. Best I can do is half a cigarette. That's
Okay.
the best I can get.
I remember I was at Nordstrom, and like I started like smoking a cigarette as I was like walking out.
You can figure out make sure a child's not dying.
No, it's just the people. It's the church, bro.
So yeah, a child might just be getting molested instead.
I don't know if it's a Catholic church.
They don't have to be Catholic to get molested.
True.
I was
Bad
in.
people go in all churches.
You heard it here first. Bad people go to all churches.
Why do you think they're going to church? They're trying to repent.
Exactly.
You never see an innocent person just sitting in church like, I've got nothing to worry about.
If I died today, I'd be fine.
My brother said this weird thing. He's like, you should be ready to like die today if you're like a Christian, so then you can get to heaven.
I've
I was
heard multiple.
That's why I always have a bottle of bleach at my place.
that kind of frightened me. Like I feel like he's gonna be like driving, and be like, I'm gonna take my hands off the wheel.
Well, you know what
Jesus, take the
saying is,
wheel.
right?
What?
Everyone's an atheist until they die. Like the moment that they die.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then they're like,
I
"Oh,
feel like
fuck
when
it,
I
might
like
as
I'm
well
about
just
to die, I'm
do
gonna
it."
be like, I'm so sorry, Jesus, take me with you.
I accept Jesus as my Lord and Savior, and then
Yeah.
just, poof, you're good.
You're good.
You're
fine.
good. You're covered.
Yeah.
You're covered.
That's my girlfriend has a saying too. She's like, "Well, do you believe in fate?" I'm like, "I guess so, yeah." And she's like, "Well, then don't look before you cross the street." I'm like, "That's absolutely terrifying."
Yeah. I think your girlfriend just wants you to die.
I think that there's some days where I believe that for sure. Some days I believe that for sure.
Does she also do improv?
No, she's actually she is really funny. She's she's a funny enhancer actually. So like I'll
Okay.
run a lot of my like not obviously don't do jokes in improv, but when I'm doing stand up, like she'll come with me to other shows and I'll run stuff by her. And she will be like, okay, like she'll like genuinely say, like, okay, yeah, that's good as it is, or you should
Okay.
adjust it a little bit. So
Nice.
not quite a ghostwriter because I acknowledge that she takes credit. So kind of like a poltergeist writer, I guess.
Okay.
I guess that would be the appropriate term.
I don't know if this has like been said before, but I had like an idea of a joke that like the Bible was ghost written by the Holy Spirit. I don't know. I don't know if anyone's ever said that before.
I like that
But,
though.
yeah,
I like that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
because no one actually read
No-
it. Just kidding. I don't know.
I'm not religious.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean like I'd like to think that there's something out there, but
Mm.
at the same time, like it's just so much work. I
Yeah.
like my Sunday mornings
Yeah.
way too much. I like them way too much.
Like I want to believe in something,
Yeah.
but it's like hard.
Especially when it's yourself, right? If I can't even believe in myself, how am I going to believe in God? That's not my joke. I can't take credit for that, but
I heard this other joke that was really funny.
Yeah.
I think Joe DeRosa said it.
yeah.
He was like, Jesus died for my sins. I didn't ask him to.
I never asked for this.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
I have another. Oh, this isn't a joke, really.
Oh,
But, I have a question.
go for it.
Did you know what the word flatulate means?
That's fart, right?
Yeah, it's the medical term for fart, according to doctors.
Flagellate or
Flatulate.
Flatulate. Yes.
one is to like hit somebody with a whip. Flagellate.
Flagellate.
Flagellate. Yeah, like with 2 G's.
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
Mm,
I didn't know that one.
Fun fact.
interesting.
They have to after a surgery they actually have to clear somebody. They have to do the big 3. They have to be able to eat, hold it down. They have to be able to pee, and they have to be able to fart before you're allowed to be discharged.
Really?
After like any kind of like major surgery, they have to they have to do that. Have to clear those. So it was the big
Oh.
3.
Speaking of medical shit again, so I wanted to be a nurse for a minute,
Yeah.
and I volunteered at the hospital when I was 17.
Oh really? That's cool.
Yeah, and that's an experience that fucked me up. So like, on like my second day,
Yeah.
I was shadowing this guy named Brendan,
Mhm.
and he was like, "Hey, come into this room with me." He didn't give me any warning beforehand, and there was a naked man, an overweight naked man, who just so happened to be dead.
Oh my god.
Wow, and that was he just like brought you in just to see that.
And he's like, "All right, we're gonna have to like clean the body and put it in a body bag, and then move it down to the body place."
The body.
And then like I didn't want to like touch this naked man, so I was like looking away because I didn't want to like look at it, and then I looked over for a second and I just saw him like scrubbing his balls with like a washcloth. I can still.
I like that. That's where he starts. That's like his.
I don't think that's where he started. I was looking away for a while, and I was like, "Is he almost done yet?" I was like, "No, he just got to the testes."
Oh, okay. He just got to the test. Glad we're being medical professionals here.
And then I had to help him with like a few other nurses, like roll him onto this like.
Was it a big guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a surfboard looking thing, and then we like moved that onto like a gurney, and then we had to like roll him down to the stairs. I mean, we rolled him down.
Roll him down this. He's not gonna mind, I don't think.
And,
but at this point, he won't care.
Yeah, we took him to the morgue place.
Oh.
Yeah.
That'll mess you up a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
And then.
Ugh.
And then he helped. I had to like get rid of this guy's like tissues and like soda can, and he didn't tell me that he had AIDS. And I was like, "Brendan, look, I know you have a difficult job, but please give me a heads up
Oh my god.
when there's naked dead people or AIDS tissues."
Oh my god. That's
And then I was
horrifying.
freaked out and thought I
Yeah.
had AIDS for like a month, and I was like, "Oh, it's been like a couple of years now. I guess I didn't have AIDS."
That's terrifying. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Apparently, they just found like a cure for HIV at Temple University.
Oh,
They were just like, yeah, they were just doing that. I saw that on the news the other day. I'm like, that's wild.
dang.
Yeah. So I
I
mean,
feel like Magic Johnson's known about that forever.
well, yeah. I mean, with
Yeah.
with the money he's got,
There's
he's known for a
definitely
while.
a cure for cancer and a cure for AIDS out there, I feel.
I feel like I mean, like they got like treatments that work. I don't know if if it's the whole like government holding back on it so people can
Yeah.
make more money. That's
Yeah.
I want to believe that people are better than that. Like that's something I would really hope that like if someone found it, like word would get out. I would really, really hope so. But I
Yeah.
mean, if that were to happen, that would be like top 10 like most messed up things that people have
Yeah.
ever done. But
And number 9 would be the fake moon landing.
oh, absolutely. Oh my god.
I think that's our time today.
Oh, very cool.
Yes. Thank you, Josh.
Awesome. Thanks for
coming.
having me, man.
I think this was a really good episode.
This was
Thank
fun.
you.
Yeah, this is a good time. A lot of laughs. I'll see you around, man.
Yeah. Stay tuned for episode 8. Only a couple more episodes this season. We'll see you soon. Adios.